Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and a lot of you guys have asked me to make an add-ons guide video, and I decided to do an updated version. The version that I had originally back from World Trainer isn't all that different, but I did stop using a certain few add-ons, and I decided to make a better guide in order to help you set up your add-ons to look a lot like mine. A lot of you guys seem to enjoy and like the style of the add-ons that I have and the way that I have it set up, and in the previous video I was able to go and basically build the layout from scratch, but I really don't want to go doing that. So I'll try to give you guys as much descriptive detail as to what I did in order to achieve the add-ons and the style of format that I was able to get from my UI. So as you will tell from the beginning, from the start, my UI is very centric around the center. What I developed over time playing World of Warcraft is kind of like a driver's vision. When you're driving in a car, you're not really looking exactly at any point, you're kind of just looking straight. So then you can see in peripheral vision a little bit better, you can see the car in front of you a bit better, you can kind of see from a corner of your eye in a rear view mirror a bit better if you have like a car incoming. And you're able to monitor basically as many of things on the dashboard as much as possible. At least that's been my experience. So what I'm trying to monitor is my health, health of an enemy, set focus. I'm also trying to monitor my main cooldowns, what abilities are available, and that's really as far as it goes. Also arena tabs like DRs and such, which do set counter on the side, which I do have to look over. But for the most part, that's all I do. I don't really do anything crazy with my buffs. My buffs still sit at the top right, and I have never had an issue having to look up to the top right to see what kind of buffs that I have. In the past, people told me they have had an issue keeping up with your red buff, the inside buff back from Combat Rogues, and now it's even more difficult to do so with the Outlaw Rogue, since you have 6 buffs to keep track of, and knowing which buffs is which and all that jazz can kind of stack up on you. But I never had an issue with it, so I don't really do anything particular. You could get an add-on kind of an add-on that would deal with it, maybe like Tell Me When, that might show up somewhere else on the screen. But anyway, let's talk about the add-ons in an order that I feel is the most important. First one is, how do I get these kind of unit frames and how do I move them? Moving them isn't difficult. You simply right click, move frame, unlock it, and then you'll unlock it, which I'm not going to do because God forbid I won't figure out the perfect spot for it again. You unlock the unit frame and then you can move it around anywhere on your screen. You can do this with your own unit frame, your target unit frame, and set focus unit frame. So for example, I target that rogue. I'm going to set the crocodile, crocolisk as the set focus, so I have 3 different targets. You can move this around anywhere you want to, and at the end of the general add-on discussion, I guess, I'll show you guys how I get it set up, and I'll show you guys a PNG picture that I work with using OBS in order to place all my add-ons together, just to give you guys a little bit of help of how I have it. Anyway, next add-on I have is Quartz, which I think is the most important one. Quartz is this fattened casting bar. It can replace your original casting bar. I just keep it there anyway because with all the buffs, it ends up overlapping one another. And that's not really an issue for me. I'm not a caster, as rogues are not really that much of a caster class, but being able to keep up with a little bit fatten over health bar, or I guess fatten over cast bar, it's much more easier for me to keep up with the set focus target, the target that I'm targeting, and my own, in case I am playing a caster. I kind of like Quartz, and I've kind of developed, just get used to playing with Quartz after a long period of time. So for me to go back to original cast bars that Blizzard has is very difficult. So I'm keeping Quartz as is. Next thing you'll see is the main add-on that allows me to lay out my interface as I wanted to, which is Bartender. Right now it's a little bit more scattered out because I don't have as many toys, as many abilities to just put all over my bars, but in the past, I've been able to basically fill this whole system, fill this whole interface. So let me show you guys the exact bars. So with Bartender, put on the side, you can change the size of your bars and you can put them anywhere. So I have my bar 1, bar 6, bar 5 down in the center. I have my stance bar, which is a little bit fattened up. My bar 10 is a single bar, it's a whole bar, but just for one ability, Killing Spree, which is how I got to look at that big. This is my bar 2, just sits right here as a box with a couple different rows, and I'm able to put abilities as I need. I usually put major cooldowns to monitor on the side because it's easy to look from center and look from the right just to see the cooldown of all those abilities. And then on the right I have my side abilities for utility. And I'm going to go over real quick about the scale layout, because for most of the scale for my bartender bars is 1.05. I don't know, something about 1.0 wasn't perfect, but 1.05 just felt right in my eyes. And I'm pretty sure it's because from playing the game back on a laptop, and then in the past playing the game back on a 1600 by 900 monitor, so I got used to the original scale of that. And playing with everything upscaled to 1.05 is a little bit easier for me to be able to see all my abilities. Plus, they're small enough to be out of the way, but they're big enough for me to notice all of them. At least that's just for me. My bar 2, everything is scaled at 1.2 with padding of 2 and rows of 3. That is all I did for that. Then we have for bar 3 and bar 4, they're the same, so I'll show bar 3 to scale 1.2. Everything else stays as is, and it's relatively around here usually. Bar 10 is scaled all the way to 2 and rows at 1. If I were to add rows back, you would be able to see some of the other abilities, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. So yeah, bar 10, which is where my killing spree or my major cooldowns such as Cannibal Barrage or my big burst would normally be sitting there. I was going to put my killing spree there, but I got used to using killing spree as my main burst ability from World's Gender, so it's just relative assist there. But you can put any big burst ability like Vendetta, for example, and you can keep it there, and it'll be so much easier to monitor your main burst. It's fairly out of the way because it's not in the center, it's kind of to the right. I never really see anything in the bottom right area that I really need to focus on. So I'm feeling, as you can see, as much of the bottom area of my screen as possible. So that's what I do for number 10. And I think that's really about it. I have a macro menu right here, then there's a rep and artifact power or setting where my leveling areas would be at, and that's really about it. So that goes for bartender, and I try to lock all the bars as best as I can whenever I can. Alright, next thing is we have Skada, which is, I used to use Recount in the past before, but Skada is a little bit more lightweight. It can document a little bit more information than bartender without having to use that as much memory. So Skada is fairly lightweight. In the past, even before all the updates for the 7.0 patch for Recount, if Recount was logging too much data, it would actually slow down my PC. It would slow down the frames that I'm getting, so the FPS would get lower, and sometimes it would just make WoW run like ass. For the longest time, I haven't had this issue with Skada ever since the pre-patch is gone, so I've been enjoying Skada for the longest time. A really good add-on, it just shows you everything. It's fairly easy to navigate around too, because it's all about left clicks and right clicks. Left clicks is all about selecting and go into deeper details. You can see some of my damage with left clicks, but if you want to back out, you just right click, and you can get to the very beginning of Skada fights. So I can go to maybe total, current fights, and find the damage or even the healing charts, and be able to see all that information from there. Next one we have is the big one, which is Trophy GCD, which is the abilities that you see on the bottom right. If I can find an NPC or something to fight, you guys will see a variety of spells that will be thrown out as I am fighting. So as I'm going to attack the Grace Crawl, I'm going to Mark for Death, roll the bones, and you can see that sequence of events happening on the bottom right. Cheap Shot, Mark for Death, Saber Slash. I'm going to go for it between the eyes, and I was going to follow with Pistol Shot, but I can't because the guy just got one shot. But that is Trophy GCD. So Trophy GCD is an add-on that a lot of people have asked me to get because they said that they have had a hard time following what abilities I'm using when I'm playing World of Warcraft. And I decided to make it easier. I'm not a big fan of Trophy GCD, but I did decide to make it easier for players to follow what I'm doing. Trophy GCD is fairly easy to set up. It doesn't have, I mean, it has not that much of a variety of like options that you can play with. Let me show you what it looks like. It's just a player icon. So you have to play around with it, and to figure out like how it fits, you will have to use an ability to see how it scrolls through the whole bar. I kind of would like it if they had like some kind of a green square where like the abilities would start, the ability would end, kind of like a green square to work with, but they just have this player icon, so I just hide it. And what I do is I only have player 1 enabled. I have size icons at 40, number of icons 4, all on the right are default, I didn't mess with those at all. And I turned off party 1, party 2, party 3, all the arenas, target, and focus. You can have them all on, and you can literally see what your target is doing, what your focus is doing, what are the enemy first player, second, and third are doing, what the friendly player 1 and 2 are doing. You can literally monitor everything that's going on, from your friendly's actions to the enemy's actions to your target's actions to your set focus target actions. You can see if they decide to interrupt their own spell, because it'll have like a cross out on it. So for example, I'm casting Hearthstone, I cross it out, bam, you can see that it was interrupted altogether. And it also works if you just move as well. I just found that out. So that's Trophy GCD. So I'm going to show you how to get the actual PNG onto OBS and basically how would you use it in order to find the right way to position your unit frames. So I have my unit frames where I'm at, and this is what I normally do. I will do this from a perspective of if you have maybe a one monitor, and it's much easier if you have two monitors because then you're able to have OBS on one screen and your World of Warcraft on the other. What makes it easier to do this is if you have the game in full screen mode or simply in windowed mode, and then you bring up your OBS. I'm currently using OBS Studio. It's fairly clean, there's nothing on there. And what I'm going to do first is add window capture, and that's going to be WoW. So window capture and World of Warcraft, that's fine. So you have window capture to stretch it out fully, right click window capture, pretty sure it's transform and fit to screen. So now you have WoW fully fit to screen. So you see everything right here. So then you want to download the actual image as well. I also have a link for OBS to download. There usually is no issue with download OBS. Open broadcast software, no problem with that. And what I did is before putting up OBS and before putting up WoW, I also have the actual PNG on my desktop. You can put it on desktop or whatever folder. I'm running with a solid state hard drive, so I shouldn't be putting things on desktop. So you would normally want to put it in a folder somewhere beforehand. So you download the picture, download OBS, launch it, put WoW on here, and then you want to add image. You want to find the image, I have to call it image 1, whatever. Browse. Let's go to my desktop, and there it is. So you'll have the image inserted into your OBS. So as you can see, full screen OBS, it has the general, I guess, tabs. I mean, I kind of did mess up a bit here on the side. I'm not going to go back and fix it. But this is generally what I used to have from back in the day. And if you want to make sure that it's all fit to screen again, right click, transform fit to screen. Perfect. So what I'm really looking forward to are the images right here. This is where my main unit frames are. With the focus unit frame, I kind of just like guesstimate more or less for it. And what you're really looking for are these two. I'm not even know which cursor to use to show you guys. So there's one here, one right. So the best way to do this is you'll full screen this and you can full screen into another monitor. But if you have like only one monitor to go off of, you would right click, you would unlock it, and you would kind of move it over, and then you would tab to see if it's there. You would tab it back into the game, tab back in, tab out, tab in, and you would try to see until both of these are lined up. So it's a lot of like guess and check kind of deal. So you move it a little, check if it is, move it a little, check if it is, and then keep doing that until you find a proper position that you like. That's really how I did my add-ons. Again, much more helpful if you have two monitors set up, but even if you have one monitor set up, it is manageable. So hopefully this part of the video was helpful. So this is it. Hopefully you guys found this video useful, whether you want to just get the same add-ons that I have or the same interface style setup that I have. And hopefully everything in this video is going to help you get the setup that you want to get. Of course, playing World of Warcraft, it's all about getting whatever setup that is most comfortable for you. That is probably the best setup. I don't think there's really the best setup in the game out there right now. It's whatever works for you, what's comfortable, and this is what's comfortable for me. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. My name is DALARAN. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.